Hello, captains, and welcome back to the channel. This is your host, USS Endeavor, and welcome aboard the Tier 8 Italian tech tree Brindisi, the very new Tier 8 that was released for this update. We decided to take her out to see exactly how she plays, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Gameplay code is below if you'd like to skip the stats and everything, although if she's new to you, to me, to everybody during this update, I'd stick around and see exactly what she has to offer, including our commander, which we'll be showcasing right now. Now, I'm going to be completely frank. I am really kind of testing this build out, so I wouldn't call this build my go-to or take it for gospel yet, but I am using Francesco Membelli with a slightly weird setup with Makawa and Baltimore as my inspirations. All of the agile perks I'm using that you would normally use for a full agile build. However, this is going to be a little bit of a hybrid, as you will see. For our mods, we're doing Aiming Systems Mod 1, Propulsion Mod 2, Concealment Systems Mod, and in the last, the Main Battery Mod 3 to help reduce the abysmal reload time. And we have SAP loaded, which gives us a stock reload time of 17 seconds. Onto the Rolling Smoke, which you have 3 charges of because of Membelli. Your survivability is at 44,800. We do have it fully maxed out with everything, so 22-second torpedo damage reduction. We will look at the armor layout here briefly. Onto the artillery. Think Amalfi, but with 1 extra turret. So 12 barrels in a 4x3 configuration, same caliber guns. Reload time, like we said before, 17 seconds with a decent 180-degree turn time. And the AP and SAP shells are the exact same as far as damage-wise with the Amalfi. Onto the torpedoes, you have the exact same torpedoes, 2x4, 8 torpedoes, 4 on each side. 13.5 kilometer range, 56 knot speed. They're the slow moving sea mines, but they do a decent amount of damage. Their detectability range by sea is 1.1 kilometers, so not too bad, but they're slow. And their AA defense is respectable, 75 rating. Doesn't start though until 4 kilometers, so your AA won't go off until those planes are within that distance, which is not the greatest, but it's okay. Maneuverability. This is where the hybrid kind of comes out. 41.4 knots, 730 meter turning circle radius, but the rudder shift time is 8.5 seconds. So it's a long rudder shift time. However, it feels more maneuverable than it looks on paper. You'll see what I mean. Onto the concealment though, I wanted to drop my concealment as much as possible in this, which is why I went with the hybrid build. So we have a 9.4 kilometer range by sea, which is very good, and 6.5 kilometer detectability while firing in smoke. You'll need to know for whenever you're using your rolling smoke. Onto the armor, 25 millimeter nose and stern. It's very familiar because it's exactly like the Amalfi. And you have these same exact sections of armor just like in the Amalfi. So all of this is still pretty much the same. So you're probably thinking, well, that's not too bad. Well, the problem is that you're a Tier 8 now. So you're going to be going up against legendary ships, and you're going to be going up against other Tier 8s, plus Tier 7s. And because the armor hasn't really changed, it becomes very easy to citadel, as you can see how high it sits out of the water here. So here we are at the gameplay, and we are on the map Haven, which I'm not a big fan of. However, this is my maiden voyage in the Brindisi. This is the very first match that I played in her, and lo and behold, if you look on the red team at the very top in the Kitakaze, it's Zarkoon. He was streaming at this time. I did not know that, and unfortunately, I get matched up against him. And you're probably wondering, well, why isn't this in the Versus series? Because that's where all of your famous battles take place against well-known players on the Reds. And you would be correct. However, spoiler alert, I never see him in this match. So he spawns across from Charlie, and I spawn Bravo, and I head to the right. So we end up never crossing paths, which I'm kind of thankful for. However, that would have been really nice to have tested out my SAP against his Kitakaze. Anyway, not to be. So on to the match itself. We are, like I said, we spawned in front of Bravo, and we do have some destroyer support over on this side with a Schlieffen. So I am excited about that. They are pushing up. The one destroyer that is in the back, the Khabarovsk, has finally decided to join us. So he's going to start heading out there, and we are going to try and support. Now, on to the strengths of this ship. It's very fast. It also has the rolling smoke. It has low concealment. So being able to get into kiting positions and using your SAP, you have a really good punchy power at the very, very start if you can land your shells. We only get 2 hits there, and one's a shatter and the other's a pen for 1,700 damage. So these things can hurt whenever you get hit by the SAP. You have 12 guns. However, the one thing that I don't like about it is that it can get touched rather easily, and you feel it because the Citadel is very much exposed, and the reload being very, very long, you're not able to get these shots off like you would want to. Both destroyers are spotted, and I was in between my reload, so I wasn't even able to take advantage of taking shots at these guys, which was unfortunate. Here our Schlieffen just gets absolutely obliterated by the Reds, and he's not long for this world, so we throw torps because they're slow, lumbering sea mines. I know the Schlieffen's going down any second here, and which is unfortunate. He pushed around the corner far too aggressively without any real support and got met by over half of the enemy team. Here we shoot, and unfortunately we were within our smoke fire penalty. Whatever was in that smoke behind us that we can't see was able to see us and spot us, and because of that, I thought we were going to be able to get a free shot, but instead we get a Citadel against the Yamato that's way out there, and he takes a massive chunk off of us, and now we're getting focused by everything, so we have to disengage, which is unfortunate. I thought I was going to be able to make a decent play, but if you can see, we're targeted by 4 ships, and I guess we're the shiny, bright, new, squishy vessel that everybody wants to tag. And here the Worcester, who is staying broadside, is just, we're not able to get these Citadels at this range. Able to take out turrets and stuff, but we got 1 Citadel against him during that whole exchange. Did get a torpedo hit against that main way out there. Here we switch to the SAP, and just in case you're wondering how devastating the SAP is, even against a very heavily armored Khabarovsk, and I know he's low on health, but this next salvo right here is just going to demonstrate how well these shells can pen at this range, and we take him down. So there's the Cobb gone. He's a very heavily armored foe, and here is why I chose to pick the speed and the propulsion mod, which I'm starting to become much more of a fan of, as opposed to simply just going into rudder shift. If Hipper loves doing a bunch of rudder, he loves getting his rudder down as much as possible, and just juking and jiving and not slowing down, always staying at full speed. It is effective, and I'm not saying it's not. However, I have learned that a lot of captains, especially battleship captains, are starting to kind of get used to that and understand that better. So what I am trying to implement in my gameplay now, which I almost hesitate to say, and it's not easy to master, and I'm not a master at it, but I am getting better at it, is the start and stop capabilities, which you don't necessarily have to be a massively fast ship in order to make this work. And there we get a lot of penetrations even at range with the SAP against that main that's way out there. But turning is still a viable option. You need to know how to do that. But as you can see, I'm stopping and starting and using my propulsion mod to help me to slow down and speed up really, really quickly. If you've noticed in the last couple of videos that I've been doing, it's incorporated that mechanic. And as you can see, it works really, really well at dodging shells without necessarily having to mess with your rudder. So that's just a new mechanic that I'm trying. Here back to the gameplay, the Shimakaze shows up and then beaches, but goes dark. So we take a shot out at him just because we need to take him off the board. He's a nasty guy that I don't want to mess with, and we miss all of our shots right here. We are up on ship count, but we are not looking good with the cap control. So I'm thankful that our team is helping cap Charlie at this point. We were not able to really help at Bravo as much as I would have liked. It was just way too hot on that flank. As you saw, we got overrun rather easily. And I'm still spotted and targeted. I can only assume it's the Shimakaze that is doing that. And here I'm trying to watch the right-hand side while I'm pushing into the Shimakaze. I don't have any hydro acoustic search at my disposal, so that is a bit of an issue. If he threw torps my way, there's really no way for me to spot them early. And here he is, and that's a mistake of a shot. He was slowing down. I thought he was going to be going full speed, and I shoot right in front of him. So I should have been able to have taken him out right there, but I screw up, and now I'm kind of forced to shoot blind into the smoke, which again is a risky play because my smoke fire penalty keeps me lit. I do hit him, I do clip him right there, but our team does a good job of taking him out. And here I'm almost for certain guaranteeing that there's shots coming in because I've been lit for way too long. So I slow down, smoke up to try and disengage, and also trying to see if torpedoes are coming in. And there are some shots that I was talking about. So you just got to be careful. You got to be cognizant of your surroundings, the ships around you, making sure that you are maintaining not just a sailing in a straight line, or you got to stay moving, but you also have to keep good map awareness is what I'm trying to say. This ship it's vital to understand that. This is not an easy ship to play. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right off the bat. It's a rewarding ship. It's fun to play. However, I don't think it has high carry potential when it comes to winning games if you're down. It's more of a support cruiser with very low utility to help your team. Most of the utility that you have on your ship only helps you. You just gotta understand that. I hate that. I like being able to support my team. I like the type of utility that not only gives me information but also helps others. And I know a plane technically can spot, but it's nowhere near as effective as a hydro or a radar. And the Italian line just doesn't have that as an option. Looking at the map, it's just a Shimakaze, an Ibuki, and the Yamato, who chunked us for a Citadel earlier in the match. However, we've done a relatively good job of staying alive. He did take half of our health, and we were able to heal a little bit back. However, all of our heals are gone. We have a minute and 10 seconds left before we can get our rolling smoke back, and it looks like our plane will be back just briefly before that. So I'm just trying to figure out where everything else is at. Because of my low concealment, I know that I can... Oh, there's the Shimakaze. But our destroyer does a really good job and takes him out. So now there's no longer a destroyer threat, which I'm very thankful for. The island is in front of us, so I can take this shot. And here I just barely sneak into the cap to get an assisted in capture. However, I really only was in there for like half a second and get rewarded with the flag. So not going to get much XP off of that. So the Yamato and the Ibuki are all that left. We were able to take all of the caps, so this is a virtual win. All we have to do is just make sure that we all don't die, and we should be good. So here, as we're pushing around, I'm not quite sure where the Ibuki is, and here we get spotted. And in this brief amount of time where I get spotted, I pop my smoke, I'm lining up my SAP shells, I want to get this shot off, and we do get a really good hit. We get 7 full pins, but the Yamato takes a shot at us, and there's that armor again. Of course, the Yamato can overmatch our armor anyway, but punches right into our citadel and finishes the job. So here we're going to fast forward a little bit. The Yamato gets some damage against him. After that, we sped it forward just for the sake of not being, for the dead time. There, he gets taken out. So it's just a 3v1 at this point. And it's the Ibuki against this Colbert, which the Colbert does a very good job, and he is going to secure the win. So now we're going to just fast forward here yet again to him cleaning up the Ibuki, and he just has way too much DPM for this Ibuki to be able to finish off. So he's going to switch to AP2 and just finish the deed. And that's going to do it for the match. And something that's really odd here, and I'm going to show you right here on the score. Technically, according to the scoreboard, we came in second. However, if you look at the very bottom, the summoner that took out that Yamato went AFK and either disconnected or just backed out. I'm thinking he disconnected, so I'm thinking he would have gotten a score above mine, but for all intents and purposes, I came in second. So there's a look at the Brindisi, my maiden voyage, my very first match in it. I do enjoy these ships, however, they are not easy to play. And as you get to this tier, it's really hard to play. So that's it for this ship. The last one we're going to be featuring is the Napoli, which, to be fair, technically doesn't belong in this cruiser line. However, it's the only Italian cruiser that's a little bit ahead, so we're going to feature that. Technically, the Venezia is supposed to follow the Brindisi for us, but we don't have her in the game yet. But I'm thinking she might be coming soon. It's just a feeling that I have. I have nothing to confirm that at this point. So that's going to do it for me today, captains. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I apologize for taking so long for getting back to you, but I wanted to have this video ready for you. So that's going to do it for me today. Thank you again, captains. Fair winds and fair seas. And this is the USS Endeavor signing off.